This is Dr. Quinlan with Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic from Coppell, Texas, and you're listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show.
Hi there, this is Lori Dunham with Dunham Business Radio. We won the 2019 Gray Bowl Show of the Year. We also got an award for community service, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. We are on the next level, and we're going higher, and I can't do it without you, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, and stay tuned in. Hi everybody, this is Lori with Dunham Business Radio. I am super excited about what's coming up here this summer. We are going on the next level. And you know what? We're doing it for you. You helped us grow. You helped our numbers just increase, and we're making an impact on entrepreneurs all around the world. We're coming to North American cities near you. And I am super excited to announce that we are collaborating with CK Productions, an award-winning film production company out of New York City. We're filming a documentary that will depict the journey of the entrepreneur. You know, we've come through an amazing time in 2020. We survived, but you know, there's a lot of businesses out there that need help, and we are on the forefront, and we want to help them.
Right now, we're looking for your contribution, your help to make this amazing project happen. We want to put a focus on small businesses, especially after the crazy year we have all endured.
If you've been listening to Lori's radio program, you know what a powerful storyteller she is and how she connects people and local leaders in businesses. So consider making a donation to make the ripple effect a reality.
Support this event and this amazing documentary because it highlights the superheroes in our country. From day to day, people go in from 9 to 5, but business owners go in, as we know, from 8 to 8. Those 12-hour days that we go day after day, there's no weekends, there's no vacations. And during the pandemic, we've done everything we could to stay open. A lot have closed their doors, and maybe this event will inspire them to reopen or help each other learn how to succeed in business in the future.
It costs a lot of money to bring an event like this to your city, and we're asking for your help, your financial contribution. Please dig down deep. Help us to make a ripple effect and a positive impact in the lives of small businesses and entrepreneurs right there in your hometown.
In addition to supporting a bunch of small businesses around the country, we're also looking to support local nonprofits in each one of our amazing cities we'll be visiting. A portion of all of our ticket sales will be donated directly to these local nonprofits so they can continue making a difference within their communities.
So at the end of the day, if you're riding on the fence of whether or not you should attend this event or even step up to the plate and be a part of it, I mean, you never know where it's going to take you. The people that you meet and the people that you get close to and create a network with, well, that could eventually become your net worth. So being in a room of like-minded people, like-minded individuals who have a goal, who have a dream, who want to grow in their business, and just being in the space where you can get a piece of that and catch some fire that might propel you to where you want to go, that's priceless, really.
We are giving back to our supporters, both here and afar. We're going city to city supporting small business and entrepreneurs and leaders in local areas as well as nonprofits.
We're going to be out there with positive vibes, connecting businesses, connecting local leaders. You're going to get a big boost of energy.
I get so emotional when I talk about being an entrepreneur. You're called to be an entrepreneur. And if you don't answer that, you know, you're really not honoring something that is truly can impact the world. I really do believe that.
I'm excited to be a part of this event because it gives me the opportunity to really talk about what I'm passionate about. That is health and wellness and helping not only individual people, but companies.
I'm looking forward for this event. Honestly, every event I go to, it's like it brings joy to my heart because I just love seeing everyone. I love the people. I love talking to everyone. And especially after the COVID and speaking to the camera, I just want to see everyone live.
I want to show the world that small business owner is so important that we need to stand up and support them together. Because without them, our world will be broken.
It's very important as a business owner to invest. Sometimes we invest in things that do not have a return on investment, and we never feel okay about that missed opportunity. But this is an opportunity you don't have to miss out on. The return on investment is not just dollars in your pocket, it's the exposure, it's the education, and it's the fact that you know you're a part of the ripple effect for your community. That ripple effect is the ROI that is endless and endless on return.
Check out all the information on our page to learn more about our project, to learn about our documentary, and to learn how you can help out and other ways you might be able to help out beyond donating.
We need your help. We need your financial support. We're not pulling any punches here. We want to make a difference, and our project, The Ripple Effect, is going to make an impact in the lives of people around the country. Please dig down deep. Help us make this an amazing tour, and help us make this event something that will make history.
Live from Arlington, Texas, it's the Dunham Business Radio Show. And here's your host, Lori Dunham.
Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dunham Business Radio Show. I am your host, Lori Dunham. I am so excited you're here. Thank you so much for connecting with us and tuning in. Tonight's a great night. We have an amazing guest with us tonight. And I know, I say that every week because, really every guest is amazing. And the show is not, it can't be what it is today without your support, without the guests coming on and giving back to talk more about their journey and about who they are. And, I'm just in the middle, I just connect, right? I connect, promote, and solve business problems across multiple platforms. And this is just one of those platforms. And I'm so honored that you're a part of this family. You're a part of this community. And please let your friends know we are here right now. And we're going to be talking to an amazing guest tonight. Also, please be sure to share this video. If you're watching it on a replay, if you would, just in the comments down below, put in hashtag replay. And we'd love to know what day you're actually listening to this, because right now, as you know, we come out on Mondays. But maybe there's another day of the week. Maybe we'll add an extra show. I'm not sure. We got a lot of things in the works. And I'm really excited, and I can't go into details, but I'm really excited about them. And they're really just going to move us to the next level. And I'm just so happy about it. So excited. So please just stay connected, because you want to stay connected with us, because we are literally just moving. And it's really exciting. And so tonight is no different. I want to introduce you to our guest tonight. I am just personally super excited that she is on the show, that she's agreed to be here. I am a big fan. And so let me just jump right in, right? We'll get excited. And I want to introduce you to Christy Whitman. She's the CEO and founder of the Quantum Success Learning Academy and the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. Through her 10-month Law of Attraction Coaching Certification Program, she has helped certify over 3,000 life coaches and has helped countless others to unlock their power to manifest what they desire most. She's a 2-time New York Times bestselling author, and she is out there, Facebook, YouTube, and all over the place to give you hope and inspiration, to share more about her journey to becoming a transformational leader, a celebrity coach, and a law of attraction expert. Please help me welcome Christy Whitman to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm over the moon. Thank you for saying yes.
Thanks, Lori.
It's a great day. So let's just let everybody in on the secret. Like, who are you? Where are you from? And how did you get just the short span, or how did you get here?
Well, it's definitely not a secret, but I found myself in my mid-20s. I had literally accomplished everything that I was set out to, that I thought was going to make me happy, right? Get a good job, get a degree, find a right partner, have the health in your body, have money in the bank. And I checked the boxes on all those things. And here I found myself in Chicago. I was living in one of the greatest cities. I was from Arizona. I was living in Chicago with my best friend. I had this great paying job. My job when I was in my early 20s is to go to restaurants and bars and hotels, meet the managers, dine at these places. It was an incredible job to have because I was selling wine for a living. And I was engaged to be married. I had money in the bank. I had everything going on. And I was so unfulfilled. I was so unhappy. As a matter of fact, I was engaged and I was more unhappy in my life than I'd ever been. And I thought when you get engaged and you're planning a wedding, it's supposed to be the happiest time of your life. I was depressed. I started seeing a therapist. I was so unhappy. I broke off the engagement and I started seeking. And I really realized that I just wasn't, no matter what was happening in my life, no matter how much I accomplished in my job, no matter how much money I was making, I wasn't happy. And so that quest, that hunger for more, to understand what is this life really all about, if it's not about doing all these things and checking off the boxes, because I did that and it seems like it's something big missing. I'm missing something. And that led me to move to Northern California. And first person I met was a hairdresser. Her name is Janine. And I'm, just as you do when you're getting your hair cut, talking to the person that's cutting your hair. And I just was observing her and I was noticing that she was different than any person I'd ever met. There was this joy about her. There was just this, I didn't have the language back then, but it was like this light about her. And finally, being as blunt as I am, I said to her, okay, what do you do? And she just started laughing because she knew exactly what I meant. And I said, what do you, and she says, I meditate. And back then, this is 25 years ago, right? My idea of people that meditated, it was like a guy that had a white beard sitting on top of a mountain in a yogi position, oming, right? It wasn't something that someone like myself would do, right? That was so woo-woo, right? Yeah. And I didn't even know woo-woo. I didn't even know the word woo-woo. I was so anti-woo-woo that I didn't even know, right? So when she said meditate, I'm like, how does that work? And so she started describing it to me. And she said, I can connect you with my meditation teacher. She lives here in San Ramon and you can call her. So I'm literally dialing Melanie's number as I'm leaving. Remember the big phones that we used to have? Like as I'm dialing her number, I'm carrying my phone out with me. And we're talking dinosaur ages, right? This is
the 5-pound phone.
Yes, exactly. We're talking pre-internet, the whole thing. And so I found myself going to this woman's house. And she opens the doors and she's got clinky new age music going on and candles. And she's got, statues of angels and all these different, beings, I guess, goddesses. And so I was like, where am I? What am I doing here? And she got incense, the whole thing. And so I sat down on a cushy thing on the floor. And she started talking to me. And the first thing she said to me is, you create your own reality. And something in me, it was just like this just energy overload came out of me. And I was like, yes, that's true. I'd never said that before. No one's ever said that to me before. It wasn't common knowledge. I mean, information like this was tucked away in like a new age bookstore, or the regular Barnes and Noble kind of bookstores, way in like a very small corner that most people didn't ever go to. And when she said that to me, it was like, I knew that to be true. And then my mind kicked in. And I was like, how? And she said, well, your thoughts. And I immediately went, my thoughts? Like, my thoughts are my thoughts. Like, I know I can change my mind. I'm not going to wear this dress. I'm going to wear this. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to do this. But to change my thoughts, then my thoughts are my thoughts. My thoughts are real. And she said, no, your thoughts you're either repelling things from you or attracting things to you based on your thoughts. And again, I went, well, that doesn't make any sense. My thoughts I have a thought about this is yellow, or this is red, or that's bad, or that's good. And I had no idea that those thoughts are something that's generated inside of me from my beliefs. And so she gave me a homework assignment, and she said, I just want you to go home for a week. Just pay attention to what your thoughts, what your mind is telling you. And I said, okay, I can do that. It's easy enough. She said, just take time to make sure that you're paying attention. Don't judge the thoughts, but just listen to yourself think. And I did. And Lori, I couldn't believe how negative I was. And it's really fun. I remember saying to my best friend that's known me since 7th grade, I remember saying to her, I am so negative. And she goes, Christy, you're one of the most positive people I know. And I'm like, but you're not in here. Like in my own head, I was judgmental. I was critical, condemning of myself, of others, of my parents, of my sister, of everybody and every God, and I couldn't believe, because like, if you knew me, right, you wouldn't say, oh, you're such a negative person. But I realized that, wow, it doesn't matter what I accomplished in my life or how much money I made or how many husbands I had or any of these things. If I'm inside of my head constantly being in a negative space, coming from lack, I'm never going to be happy. And that's where it like really, so I started to become a student of what is this mentality. And what I attracted to me and came to know is that most of us live in a lack mentality where we're competing against each other. We look at others as our enemies instead of, human beings, where, what we do and who we are and how we look and what we have is never enough. And when we're coming from that mentality that this is good or that's bad, it's either black or white. There's no shades of gray. We're coming from a place of lack. And that's the exact opposite of how our universe works. And if we want to create what we want, our universe is based in abundance. So I started attracting more and more information on the universal laws. And so about 5 years in to practicing it, seeing my life change, I started dating a really nice guy, because I was always attracted to the bad guys, the bad boys. And I was in an 8-year relationship with him and ended up getting married. I had, money in the bank, had a great career, all this stuff going on. And it was another pivot point for me, because I literally was I was declaring for myself that I wanted to live in abundance. And when I did, I was let go of my job as a pharmaceutical rep. And during that time, I literally just meditated and connected. And it was around that time that my first book, Perfect Pictures, came through. Wow. And literally, I got woken up at 1:05 in the morning. Every night before I go to bed, I meditate. But I saw the cover of the book, like exactly what it looked like. It had my Perfect Pictures by Christy Whitman. I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never written a book, but it was so clear. That night, 1:05 in the morning, I was woken up with a voice in my head that was literally reading me the book. And so, so I had to get up out of bed because I couldn't go back to sleep. And I'm writing and writing and writing. My hand became free. I was free of my own awareness of what I was even writing. And then I let it go, went back to sleep. And that happened 7 nights in a row. And so I had just seen an author, Terry Cole Whitaker, who was one of the first New Thought authors and ministers of New Age kind of new science, like religious science kind of work. And I emailed her and I said, I think I'm writing a book. I don't know. How do I get a book published? And so she told me, go online and find a literary agent. So I literally typed in literary agent, a guy's picture popped up. Again, this is before there was a lot of internet, right? This is like 5 years after when I first started, learning about this stuff. So it was very new and there wasn't a lot of people that were even online at that time. Mm-hmm. So he showed up with a picture. He was a publisher and a literary agent. I sent in my manuscript. He accepted it. And it was like, that total new thing. Like, is is it that easy to get a book published? Who knew, right? And so it was like beginner's mind, right? You just don't have any preconceived notions of how hard it's supposed to be. So it was so easy. Right. So I got the book published, and all my friends and family read it who were not the target market for this book. They all thought I was wackadoo, because it's all about your thoughts create your reality, and, you know, shifting from a perspective of lack into abundance, and having perfect pictures where all you ever look at is, you know, the things that are wrong about something, and you like, oh, I got to fix that. And so the perspective is, I got to make it perfect, and it's not perfect now. So look at all the things that are making it imperfect and try to change those. But our focus is on what's wrong and bad instead of what's good and right. So they were all like, I don't get it. So I started speaking in spiritual bookstores and New Thought churches. And when I was there, people started asking me if I could coach them. No frame of reference for coaching. I mean, football coach, cheerleading coach, got that, but a life coach, I was introduced to this whole new world, which was absolutely amazing and grateful, because when I would get on a phone with somebody and I would walk them through and start working with their energy on something and their perspective and shifting their thoughts, shifting their energy on it, they would change. And then they would report back to me, oh my God. And that act of coaching them and then seeing the results that they got, I was so in my element, and I just loved doing it. And this is 20 years ago. This is before coaching was cool, right? This is like, back then it was like really woo woo. And it was like, who would need a life coach, right? And so I pursued that, and I went 14 years ago into my own coaching business full time, and never have looked back.
That's amazing. Yeah. I remember when life coaches first came out, I too had that same perception, like, what do I need a coach for my life for? I mean, I'm living my life, you know, and if I need help or guidance, I'm going to go to a therapist, you know, and it turns out life coaches are so helpful in this, especially in this day and age. I mean, there's so much information out there, and life coaches can really just keep you focused on where you want to go and what's on the good, and not get distracted by the bad. It's so interesting you mentioned that too, because I had a mind spurt just now when you were talking about how when you were thinking, you finally got into the pattern of accepting that your beliefs create your thoughts, and getting into understanding all of that, then you lost your job. Well, it was interesting. Anybody who listens to the show, I've talked about it many times before, how my entrepreneurial journey is like a roller coaster, you know, and I'm up, I'm high, I'm working, I'm doing good, and crash for one reason or another, usually not my fault, usually, you know, at least not intentionally, right? But subconsciously, I sabotage myself because it's not what I really ever wanted to do, you know? And so when I'm down looking for work, I'm always aligned. I'm always in alignment. I'm meditating. I'm calm. And all of a sudden things come up, and I'm like, oh, I get a job. And then I get stressful, and then I crash again. And I'm like, what is happening? I never could find that parallel. It's just stay steady, you know? Right. And I couldn't do it. And I personally started, I mean, I watched the movie The Secret years ago. And it was, I was in my belief center that was like, really, you know? And I didn't understand. I thought that repel was bad, attract was good. And I didn't realize that you can attract bad and repel good just as much as you can the other way. And absolutely. I didn't have that revelation at the time. And I was like, okay, that's hokey, you know? And for me, a couple of years later, I met somebody who was actually in the movie, and, you know, became engaged with the company and the surroundings. I was like, huh, okay. But I didn't really dive in. I just was like back here, you know, you know, and then it wasn't really until, I want to say like 2016, maybe 15, when I really like started putting everything in my YouTube channel, in my playlist, and would go to bed listening to different people and understanding the concepts. I listened day in and day out. I never watched TV. And it really became a part of me. And I really stepped in and started taking the journey. And it is true. I mean, your beliefs really do turn into thoughts, and, you know,
your beliefs create your reality.
Yeah, and thoughts become your reality. Yeah, absolutely. And you said something really great, and that is, coming from a place of negative, of lack. Some people might say, well, I'm just so negative. Once I start identifying my negative thoughts, how is it that I can still manifest good, positive things in my life if I'm thinking negatively? Do you have any ideas about that?
Yeah, because what we've manifested today is based on our previous thoughts. So if we don't want to continue to manifest more of the things that we have today, more of the circumstances or situations or events or the things that were what I like to call contrast that we don't like or don't prefer, then if everything is energy, and it is, so energy is thoughts, it's words, it's, perspective, it's beliefs, it's action that we take. If everything is energy, then if you just shift your perspective and the thoughts around it about a certain relationship that you have with anything, it could be money, your career, a certain person, your body, whatever it is, when you shift that energy and that inner relationship, because all relationships start inside of us first, when you shift that relationship and that picture, that image of this thing, and you relating with this person, place or thing, then your tomorrows have to change, because everything first is energy, and all form follows energy. So if someone is, and I get it, and I've been asked this a lot, and I was there too, when something is so real and concrete, whether it's a bad marriage, or there's disease in the body, or some kind of dysfunction in the body, or pain, or a financial situation, or something's going on, it's really hard for someone to take responsibility and say, I created that, because it's like, oh my God, how could I have done that? Right. And then there's a tendency of wanting to, once you start taking responsibility, to then go, well, of course I wouldn't have created that. And, it's like, and that's the thing that really stops a lot of people in the beginning, because it's like, well, of course you didn't deliberately create that. Right? You wouldn't have deliberately created this situation, or a weight gain, or divorce, or all these other things. Of course not, but now you have a piece of information that will help you pivot from what you have created into what you want to create. And that's the important perspective to understand, is not to beat yourself up for what you've already created, because that beating yourself up still keeps you apart from the abundance and the good feeling stuff that actually will bring good into your life. So it's recognizing, taking inventory of your life and saying, okay, if this is contrast, if this is what I don't want, what do I want? In any aspect of your life, the simplistic question of what do I want, instead of being focused on what the problem is or what the contrast is, what do I want? And if you start allowing yourself to go, I want, more money. Oh, okay. Well, if I gave you $1, that's more money. Right? Is that right? Is that it is, right? A quarter is more money, right? Is that going to really, why do you want what you want, right? Yeah. Well, I want extra $5,000 a month. Okay, great. Now we know a specific amount, but why do you want that? Well, because I want to live free. I want to feel like I have the freedom to go shop if I want to, or go get a massage if I want to, or take that vacation, or to invest extra money in something that I'm passionate about, a nonprofit, a business. I want to create, this product I've been having this idea about, and that keeps, gnawing at me to create. It's like, now you're understanding why you're wanting. So what do you want? Why do you want it? And then bottom line, how do you want to feel? If you start making extra 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, doesn't matter the amount. If you start making that extra amount of money, or your body's in perfect health, or you have that ideal relationship, or your career is thriving, how are you going to feel? Because remember, the feelings are always the energy space. And when you're feeling on a consistent basis more of what you want and less of what you don't, now you're starting to change the vibration of the energy. And this I want to almost like take a pause and take a step back, because we know that everything is energy now. We know this by quantum physics. We know this by modern science. Einstein said it before, right? Everything is energy, and all energy carries a vibration. And that vibration goes out into the universe and will match to and with other things that are circumstances, situations, people that will come and be invited into your life, because this is an attraction-based universe. It's not an assertion-based universe. So whether we like it or not, taking responsibility that we are bringing in everything in our lives, because we're not just physical beings, we're energy beings. Mm-hmm. And we're energy receivers. We're always receiving in energy by people in our environment, by the news, by, whatever's going on, or a higher energy stream. Mm-hmm. So we're energy receivers, we're energy containers, and we're energy transmitters. And when we're transmitting those signals, that's when the law of attraction kicks in and brings us more evidence of what we're vibrating. And so how do we transmit signals? By the words that we say. First thing people ask me all the time is, well, how do you start? Like, you're talking about universal, like really esoteric kind of stuff. How do you start? You start by watching your words, right? I created, because I got this question for years and years, I created a free online program that I'll give you the link so that all your listeners can take advantage of. It's a 30-day video program. It's called, you just go to watchyourwords.com, but it's literally 30 days of videos. They're 2 to 4 minutes, and they tell you what word or phrase to absolutely eliminate from your vocabulary, why, what it's doing to you vibrationally, and then what to say instead. So for example, right, a lot of people say, "Ooh, I miss." We went through a year in the past, right, of COVID, right? We all experienced together as a universal thing, COVID that happened last year. Well, when we were in lockdown, all I kept hearing, celebrities, sports people, my neighbor, everybody was saying, "I miss." My kids even, I miss school. I miss going to soccer. I miss going to concerts. I miss going to plays. I miss going to dinner, right? Everybody was so focused on what they were lacking and what they were missing. Instead, that pulls your energy down and makes you feel bad. And when we are in lack of any kind, we do not feel good. That's how you know you are in lack. If you're feeling bad, you're in lack. But if you feel good, you're in abundance. But when you say something like, I look forward, right? I look forward to going out on a date with my husband. I look forward to being able to travel again. I look forward to going to my kid's soccer game. It is a very different energy, and you are attracting so many different things and repelling so many different things just by what you say, because it's our words that send out transmission of energy. Our words lead to our thoughts. When you think about it, thoughts are a series of words, right? So the thoughts that we think, right, that's important to pay attention to, because if we're thinking thoughts of lack, we're sending out the signal of lack, we're going to get more evidence of lack. The thing that you have to understand is that this is an abundant universe. There's a law of sufficiency and abundance. So wherever we're focused on, we're going to get an abundance of it. Focus on abundance, you get an abundance of abundance. Focus on lack, you get an abundance of lack. And it cannot not work, because it's universal. It works for every single person. Doesn't matter who you are, where you live, if you're female, male, what nationality you are, doesn't matter. It works for every single person. And so our words, our thoughts, our words lead to thoughts, our thoughts lead to our beliefs. If we keep thinking a thought over and over again, we're going to see evidence of it, and they go, see, it's true. And now it becomes a solidified belief, right? Yep. And you create from your beliefs. Your beliefs then in your thoughts create the emotions. Our emotions, if we're feeling afraid, or if we're feeling anxious, or if we're feeling worried, those are negative signals that are going out that are based in lack of more things to worry about, more things to be anxious about, more things to be afraid about, versus being in joy, or being in contentment, or being in compassion, or excitement, or passion, right? These are the emotions that actually feel good. And our emotions are the biggest energy, transmitter of all of it, right? So these are things that we have to be aware of, because here's the fun part. When you start taking responsibility for it, it doesn't matter who the president of the United States is. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic. It doesn't matter who you're married to. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter what your financial situation is. It doesn't matter what you weigh, because you can choose how you want to feel. And when you choose how you want to feel, and you're consistent enough with that feeling and your own perspective, shifting your own consciousness, you can then attract what you do want instead of what you don't want.
That's amazing. Just, I'm enlightened to another level by listening to that. I think it goes to being aware of not just the words you're saying, but the things that are coming to you. So there was a game that I played with myself back in the beginning when I started this, and it was something I heard on YouTube, and it was start your day by asking the universe to bring you something. And whatever it is, it could be, the number 8, or let me see a blue pen, or, a license plate, or whatever. I mean, right. And so I played this game, and I actually played it with a friend of mine. And I said, let's play the game where we ask the universe to deliver the number 8. And so we went about the day, and I was very aware. I was looking, right? The whole idea of law of attraction is to be looking in expectation of getting it, because it might be 3 miles down the road, or it might be right in front of the book that you're reading, that it's right there. It's coming to you. It's magnetic force. And so as we went through the day, everywhere I looked, I was looking for an 8, and it was funny. There was license plates in front of me that had the 8. It was, I saw the route sign on the road, what route we were on. I was like, wow, look at that. There's an 8. Oh, look, there's an 8, and I was like, wow, that really works. Let's try it for dollars, Yeah. And what's interesting is I believed that I could see an 8, but when it came time to believe for the dollars, come on, it won't work for a $10 bill. It won't work for a $10 bill. And I had to overcome that. And I just kept playing the 8 game, or whatever. I call it the 8 game, but it was anything, right? It could be anything. But then later, as my belief system got more and more confident that it could work, I said, you know what? I'm going to be looking for a $100 bill today. I don't know where it's going to come from. It's not my responsibility to bring it to me. I'm going to believe that before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to see $100. And I went around the day, and I was like, is there $100 in here? Nope. Is it in here? Nope. Is it in here? Nope. And I just kept, expecting to see it. And funny enough, it was it really solidified my belief in the law of attraction is as strong as the law of gravity, and that night I was, it was late. It was about 10:30 at night. I mean, I should have gone to bed an hour before, but I was still up, and I was like, I'm not going to sleep. So I see this $100, and I don't know, I got a bug that I was like, I'm just going to, weed out my closet for the donation pile that I was building. It was already a pile I had started. And I was like, I haven't gone through my closet. And I literally took my winter coat off the hanger, and, you always check your pockets before you donate. And there was a $100 bill in a coat pocket. Now that coat had been hanging in my closet for, 2 years. I live in Texas. There's no reason to have a winter coat, and from whatever. And I sat there, and first off, I'm like in amazement. I found a $100 bill, but then I sat there and I was like, that's been in the coat for 2 years. First off, how to get there? Like, why would I put $100 in my coat 2 years ago? And for the life of me, I could not remember where that $100 came from. I'm sure I put it there. It was my coat, but I mean, I went 2 years without having access to a $100 bill because I didn't believe it was there. It's so funny,
The reticular activating system. It's like when you break up with a boyfriend and he's got like a blue Jeep or something like that, all of a sudden, what do you see? There's blue Jeeps everywhere. There he is again. There he is again. There he is again. Right? It's like it's just what you become so focused upon, we attract. And most of us don't understand the power of that. And that's exactly what you're saying, is that your expectation really did create what you received. And the funny thing is that, you said something brilliantly. It's like, well, I could believe I could see 8s all over the place, but I couldn't believe right away that I could see a $100 bill. And that's just it, because a lot of times people go, oh, well, I'll try this for a parking lot. Oh, look at that. I got a parking lot right in front, and it's Christmas time, right in front of the store. Wow. Okay. This works. But then they start to try to apply it towards, $1 million. I want to be a millionaire. I want to try $1 million. Right. And the resistance of the belief is what causes, like, you cannot, if there's so much resistance and you believe that it's not actually true, or that it can't actually happen to you, or it's so far-fetched, you're not going to be able to create that.
Do you think it's because a lot of people, when they really want to believe something, like the $8 versus the $100, right? The $8 didn't matter to me that I got an 8 or not. It didn't matter. But man, it meant a lot if I had $100, if I could manifest money to pay my rent, to pay my bills, to, go on a vacation that I only have a week off of work, so to speak, and I only have this week to go, and now I got to come up with the money to go on it. I mean, there's a lot of, I guess I'm missing the word, but it matters more for whatever.
Yeah, we're meaning makers. So we make things mean something. And what we think is possible is based on our own imprints. This story keeps popping in my head to share this with you, so I'm just going to share this with you. My husband and I used to live in Montreal, and then we had a home in Arizona. So we had 2 different homes, and we would do 6 months and 6 months. And this is something that when we first moved to Montreal and started a family, he was from Montreal. We kind of created this lifestyle that we wanted. We wanted to live 6 months in Arizona and 6 months in Montreal. At the time, there was no way for us to do that, but we kept dreaming about it and thinking about it, and we didn't negate it. We, allowed ourselves to dream about it. And it became where we would spend, a couple months in Arizona during the winter, and then we would do 3, and then we did 4, and then we decided to buy a house. And here we had 2 houses. So it was split, right? And it got to a point where now the boys were getting older in school and going to 2 different schools, and, it just didn't feel right anymore. And it just didn't, we wanted to be settled somewhere, and Arizona is the place that we wanted to settle. So we had literally a brief conversation, just the 2 of us. We're like, okay, do we want to sell the house and just have our house in Arizona? And we had this quick conversation. So my husband says, we said, okay, why don't we go for it? We had tried to sell the house a couple of years prior because we were going to buy another house. Nobody even nibbled on it, right? We did the whole picture taking, sign out in front, post it on the internet. Didn't get one person come and looking at the house. So here we are with that. Well, we could just see what happens, right? So before we list it, let's call our neighbor and let him know that we're not going to list with him because, the last time we listed it was with a friend, and we just feel that we want to go with someone else, right? But out of friendship courtesy, professional courtesy, we're going to call him and let him know that we're going to be putting the house up for sale, So he calls him and says, hey, Bill, I just wanted to let you know that, we're going to be putting up the house for sale. And I just wanted you to not get your feelings hurt or anything, or why we wouldn't have gone with you. And he goes, well, can you give me a chance? And he says, well, we're already going to probably go with somebody else. And we just don't want anything to come to our friendship. He goes, yeah, but I might have a buyer for you. And he goes, so could we come by tonight? And so my husband says, well, sure, why not? So we made a decision on Friday to sell the house. Monday, we had 2 different people that this man brought through the house. On Tuesday, the second couple came back. By Thursday, we had an offer. By Friday, we sold the house. We never took a picture. We never listed it on the internet. We didn't have a sign out in front of our house. Wow. Now, someone would say that's impossible, right? Well, no, it's not, because it happened, right? But I was not in the place of oh, it's not going to sell, or it was just hey, let's just see what happens, right? And we were so detached from it. I mean, that's one of the universal laws, law of detachment. We weren't oh my God, we got to sell it. We were let's see what happens, right? And that is unheard of, to not even put your house on the market and have it, but it happens because it's beyond miracles and mystery when you work with universal laws, when you work with energy, when you don't block and resist what's possible. And so if we get out of the way of what we make things mean, $100 is going to be hard to find. 8s are easy, right? Well, why couldn't $100 be easy to find? If I could find that parking spot, why couldn't I find the man of my dreams? Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And it's interesting is I'm still practicing. I mean, this I think is a lifelong journey, too. Right? And so I have those very brief moments where I have this conversation with myself, and I say, it'd be really great if I could do this. And I tap into the emotion of it, and I'm happy when I receive it. And within a day, I have what I just thought about, and I sit back and I'm like, that is cool, or even I'm thinking about something and I see a commercial come across the YouTube or the TV or something. I'm like, I'm watching a TV show and they say something that I was just thinking that, like, wow. Or a friend will call and I was just thinking, and I'm thinking, okay, it works. And now I want it to work over here. So like, when you get into business, right, our audience, 98% entrepreneurial, right? So they're all probably raising their hand right now. In fact, let me encourage them. If you have questions for Christy, put your comments in the box. I'm sure she would want to engage with you. But I'm sure they're all scratching their head, right? Going, okay, this is all great for my personal life and my personal endeavors. But when it comes to business, yeah, how do I do detachment? I learned about heart-centered sales, right? I've learned about that in the last year or so, where it's not about selling, it's about the customer's need. And if it doesn't fit them, be willing to walk away, But when you have a goal in your business and you want to achieve a certain dollar amount or a certain number of book sales or a certain number of customers, and you've got employees that are depending on you getting these sales, and that's a lot of stress, right? So what kind of guidance can you give to a business owner, a small business owner that has a lot of these pressures, and a lot does matter to them? It does mean something to them.
I get it. So I wrote a book called Quantum Success, as literally is how to apply the 7 essential laws to your work and to money. And the reason I wrote a book specifically to that, because I, like what you're saying, is for many years, for about 5 years, I was applying the universal laws to my personal life, to my body, to, these kind of things. And I was seeing myself make more and more and more money and getting better and better and better jobs. But I wasn't like deliberately applying it to like the day-to-day things that I was doing. And so I deliberately started applying it to, at the time I was a pharmaceutical rep. And when I started to deliberately apply this, my sales went skyrocketing. And what's crazy is that the whole entire, like, we had regional, teams and district teams and stuff like that. They were all so tired of me because I was winning every sales award. They were like, we would get together and they'd be like, just give it all to her. Like they were all just abdication of like, whatever, so I was getting bonus check after bonus check. And I had all these certificates I didn't even know what to do with, a stack of them, because every single medication I sold, I was number one in the region. Right. And it was funny. And then I started getting people asking me like, what are you doing? So I started coaching people on my team that were starting to, get better and better. And so I was like, wow, this energy work and this understanding of all this universal laws, I was obviously having success. But when I applied this in my business, it was like in my career, it just started taking off. So I did an experiment. And I dedicated a whole month where I did not leave my house or go do a sales call. I obviously did stuff that I needed to do for the company, but I would just do energy work. I'd sit around and meditate and send energy to my doctors about these medications and, feel myself successful and, spend time doing that. After a month's time, my sales went, they just dipped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I thought, wow, if energy work could mean such, an improvement, well, if I just do that alone, no, it's a combination of both. You have to have alignment and create momentum. We're physical beings. We have to actually do something, write an email, get on a stage, go to a sales call, whatever, create the product, do whatever it is. We are the eyes, the ears, the nose, the hands, the feet of the divine. And when we tap into the quantum field, this is really what we're talking about, then the totality of who we are can create massively, can create, quantumly, exponentially. And so when you combine the outer work with the inner work, the alignment and the momentum, that allows quantum success.
Wow. Wait, say that again. When you combine the
outer work, meaning taking the momentum, doing stuff, along with the inner work, words, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, when you align, that creates quantum success.
Wow.
Because you can't, and people do this all the time. You can't work and think no matter what I do, I'm just never going to make enough money.
Right.
No matter what I do, I'm just not going to get to that place. It's like you could feel, it's like every year I just hit that ceiling. I can't seem to get above it. What's going on? It's energy. It's a belief.
Wow. So, I mean, man, I totally relate. And I go back to my roller coaster ride in my career, and along with millions of other people, lost my job to COVID, and I just decided, I was like, I'm tired of corporate America telling me what I'm worth. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of the roller coaster ride. And I realized, being in corporate America, there's nothing wrong with that. Go get a job if that's what you want. Go do it. But for me, I was never in alignment when I worked with anybody. And after about a year, I would subconsciously sabotage myself. And so that got me wondering about the fight between the conscious and the subconscious, because, the conscious wants to protect us, right? It has a job to keep us safe and to has two jobs. I can't think what they are right now, but it has, the fight between the conscious and the subconscious. There's always a fight going on.
And there doesn't have to be.
And it doesn't, right. Exactly. Yeah. You can align it, right?
Yeah.
How would somebody approach that?
By energy work. It's by looking at we have programming and imprints. We have like our lineage of society. We have a societal lineage of what's possible. We have our family lineage. We have our cultural lineage. We have our human lineage of all these things that are based in imprints of lack. And when we release the imprints of lack energetically, we return back to our natural state of abundance. And we can then allow what we do want. We can allow that free flowing energy and the pictures that we put in our minds, seeing ourselves succeed and having that energy expand us.
So would you say it's helpful? Like if I have a desire for something, and I think about it, I expect to see it, I have it in my mind's eye, is it helpful to kind of do a vision board, to write songs or sing songs about that thing that I want, or are all of those things helpful in boosting the energy to get the desire, the one thing that you're really desiring?
Well, I love that you're bringing up the word desire, because the Desire Factor book that I've written is like out this week, right? It's like you can go order it now. And the Desire Factor is really about it's a step-by-step 7-step process that has to be done in order. It's like if you're going to go to a combination, and you have a lock and you have the numbers out of order, you're not going to open up that lock. And what most people is they're doing it in different sequence. And that's important to understand, because the first thing to know is that you have to be in alignment. And alignment could be a whole life's work, right? Alignment is words, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, right? And I've been doing this work for 25 years, and I'm still finding places inside of my mind where I'm thinking, oh, that was a limited thought. I've got to release that and come into more of a pure potentiality thought, right? So alignment is always going to be something that we have to do. Alignment is not like a college degree. I went to ASU, Arizona State University. I got a degree in organizational communications. That's mine forever. I can always say I have a degree, right? Alignment's not like that. It's moment by moment. Wow. And it's subject by subject, right? And so that's the inner work that we need to do. And alignment is the first step. Focus is also really important, because after you're aligned, where is your focus? Is it on what you don't want or what you do want? What are you focusing on? What are you picturing yourself doing? Are you focused on the lack or the abundance of it? Focus is extremely important. What you're talking about is that visualization. We all have that mental capacity to visualize, to see things. So yeah, if you have something that you put out on your desk or on your walls, right, of a check that's written out to you for the amount that you want, or you being on stage, right? I did that for years with a TEDx talk, right? I had myself on a stage and it said TEDx behind me. And then, that manifested. So having that to look at every day, it creates that as you look at it, it's not just look at it, it's look at it and feel what it feels like to come into resonance with it. Because that's another principle in the Desire Factor book, is the principle of having. We talked about lack and abundance before. If you feel you're missing something in any aspect of, say, your career or job, in any aspect of your life, but if you feel unfulfilled, if you feel like you're lacking, you're working against the principle of having, because the principle of having gives you the energetic vibrational connection with what you do want. And that's how you attract it to you.
Wow. That's so amazing. So you just said your book, The Desire Factor, is out right now, available?
It is. So you can go to thedesirefactor.com, or it's at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million. I mean, it's all over where books are sold.
That's amazing.
Independence.
Yeah. I've learned so much from this interview. I mean, first off, it's been a confirmation that I'm on the right track, that when I don't feel good, then I'm not to blame. I just got to figure out what's wrong and use it as a feedback loop, right? There's nothing wrong, nothing right. It's just the outcome isn't what you expected. So you can't change the past. So you can start with now and change your future. And by changing your future, to do that, you just kind of envision what your future, what you want it to be, and then just start focusing on that. What can I do today to make it different tomorrow? And
absolutely,
that's amazing. I've learned so much. And so I know there's other folks out there that just say, yeah, I want more of Christy. I want to work with her. I want her to coach me. Do you have the bandwidth to accept more clients to coach?
I do take one-on-one clients. I'm full right now, but I do a lot of group coaching, and I do a lot of group coaching classes, like Quantum Energy Mastery is a class that I teach, and other things of this nature. I do meditation series and things like this, but definitely go to watchyourwords.com. It's a way to really start implementing the information. The Desire Factor book is an amazing place to start with learning this at a deeper level. So,
wow. Thank you so much for that free gift. And I hope everybody, jumps over to that website. Really, life and death's in the power of the tongue. And it is what you say. It is what you think. There's a battle in your mind all the time. I mean, we've heard these things repeatedly, and it's no truer yesterday than it is today. So, please connect with Christy, put your comments in the box, ask questions. She's going to be monitoring the box over the next couple of days just to make sure that you get your questions answered. Go to that website and start changing your life, make a difference. If you're not happy with the way things have been going, then stop doing it, right? Because what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, but expecting the outcome to be different. Right. That's just crazy. So stop it.
Stop it now. There, I'm your life coach. Stop it.
There you go. We're all life coaches. Turn to the person to your left and go, stop it. That's been amazing. And thank you, Christy, for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super busy, and I appreciate you taking this hour to be with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Lori. It's been truly a delight. I'm really grateful.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you listening in and staying connected with us. And listen, if you want to be a guest on the Dunham Business Radio show, just send us an email, DunhamBusinessRadio@gmail.com. And as always, this is my gift to you. So if there is a guest or a topic you want us to talk about or invite to the show, then please let us know how we can help you, because we're here. I am here for you. And that's going to wrap it up for this week. But until next week, stay on top of the world, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show. Be sure to follow us at Dunham Business Radio and check out DunhamBusinessRadio.com for more info.
I'm on top of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And it's a good, I won't even worry anymore. Took all my cares, took and kicked them all out the door. Go on and try, come and tell me what you're waiting for. Move and keep them going till your life is over.